Okay, so why Kalonzo Musyoka insisted on the name Azimio-One Kenya Alliance? So guys, in the last 1 week, Kalonzo Musyoka has been trending and has been on top of news. He doesn't understand what he did sign at KICC on Saturday, the 12th of March 2022. From the people that attended that a meeting, I hear it was very tense. There was a lot of back and forth, and political activity was was top notch. A lot of phone calls were made. The principals were making different moves, and the person that now is at the center of all this is senior counsel Kalonzo Musyoka. So this is my perspective in terms of why Kalonzo, after signing the pact, had to insist on the name Azimio-One Kenya Alliance. So without a doubt, Kalonzo Musyoka remains the de facto leader of the Kamba nation. However much Azimio team wants to identify with governor, the three governors, we can call them the three musketeers, Charity Ngilu of NARC, Maendeleo Chapchap leader, who is Mutua, and Professor Kivuta Kibwana, who is also a party leader for, I think, Agano Party. Amongst the three of them, Kalonzo remains the kingpin for the Ukambani nation. And this is why Uhuru Kenyatta, in as much as, or as we know, Uhuru Kenyatta is a very shrewd politician, and he has in his fold some of the best political strategists in the country. Professor Mutai Nguni, we know, is the guy who came up with the tyranny of numbers, and this galvanized the masses to overwhelmingly vote for the Jubilee outfit. But then it was called TNA, TNA Alliance, Ruto in power in 2013. So the president, in his wisdom, in this year's elections, has more than any other politician been a galvanizing force element in putting together Azimio la Umoja political juggernaut. Remember, initially the president a lot to bring together also in his fold Musalia Mudavadi, Madividi, the son of Mululu, to join Azimio. But in his wisdom, which is also Mudavadi's political anyway, he decided to pursue his politics with the Deputy President William Ruto in the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. So, and you know, the president is the president. Whenever the president makes a political decision, there is a lot that goes into it. He is informed by his political strategists, which he has a lot of them. I hear Raila has inherited these brilliant minds, and they are working for Azimio-One Umoja as his close advisors. But the president could not let senior counsel Kalonzo Musyoka leave or not be part of the Azimio-One Umoja coalition. And as part of his strategy to make sure that Kalonzo does not what is the right word to use here, does not sail away to the other political divide. The president had methods that he used to keep the leaders that he was pursuing at bay, monitoring what political activities they are doing, and also using his skills, his tactics to draw these people back to the political formation that he has been championing. But for Kalonzo Musyoka, the main reason I think why Kalonzo Musyoka insisted that if he is to join Azimio, then it has to be called Azimio-One Kenya Alliance. And I think up to now, Kalonzo should be the one who is laughing all the way to the bank, because during the week there were conflicting statements from Azimio-One Umoja camp. The official presidential communicator, Dr. Professor Makau Mutua, said what was signed was Azimio-One Umoja coalition, and also the same day the campaign chairman for Azimio-One Umoja, Governor Nderitu Murithi, also said a political party cannot belong to two coalitions. So there was that confusion, but Kalonzo kept on insisting that the name that was signed is Azimio-One Kenya Alliance. So some of the reason why there was this confusion is, I think, in fighting also within the Oka Alliance itself. There are the different parties that constitute Oka Alliance. They have divergent political leanings. Martha Karua, as one of the principal in Oka, clearly she has been a fence sitter, according to my opinion. And in this case, Martha Karua is a case of aiming the sun to land on the moon. Remember earlier, late last year, Martha Karua was touted as going to be Raila Odinga's running mate. But critically looking at his political maneuvers, his demeanor, his public communication, and all the political interviews that he was participating in, it was very clear where Martha Karua was headed to. And he clearly stated that she's going to vie for the gubernatorial position for the Kirinyaga County. And this, most of the political analysts, I think they got this. And we have been vindicated, going by the statement that Martha Karua stated this week when she appeared at a political rally in Kirinyaga. Gideon Moi has been the key appointment for Uhuru in Oka. Remember, Gideon Moi has been insisting that Oka and Azimio, these are friendly forces. They share the same political ideologies, and they are willing to work together before the general election. So you could sense that Gideon Moi was leaning towards Azimio. Of course, before Musalia Mudavadi and Waita, also the two musketeers from Western, before they bolted out, there was also indication that these people were leaning towards the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. And that's why when Gideon Moi and Kalonzo Musyoka attended ANC National Delegate Conference at Bomas of Kenya, they forfeited before what was then termed as an earthquake by Musalia Mudavadi. So Oka, to me, has been Kalonzo's baby, and that is why he's been vocal, and he was not ready to let go of Oka's identity in whatever formation he was going to form. I mean, it could have been futile and wasteful of him to waste all those political hours in developing this vehicle, what they called then the Third Alliance, and then it just disappears like that. Listening closely to Kalonzo, he says nobody is indispensable, but because of his love for country and love for his constituents, the ones that he's representing, then he's ready to say Raila Tosha for the third time, Roho Safi. That is Senior Counsel Kalonzo Musyoka. What a man. The second reason why Kalonzo Musyoka was keen on making sure that Oka appears on Azimio, I don't know, it's a coalition or an alliance. I think we know as the political discussions continue. So initially it was not clear. Even Kalonzo himself did say that on 12th of March nobody understood what they signed, and this was very unfortunate coming from Kalonzo Musyoka, that nobody understood what was signed at KICC. I mean, Kalonzo Musyoka is a senior counsel, and he should read in between the lines, given his awareness of the legal skills. He should be the last person to say that he does not understand what is signed. Politically, that was a wrong move. Yeah, but even the best people normally slip. So I want to quickly go through a clause in the recently passed Political Parties Amendment Bill 2021, This act may be cited as the Political Parties Amendment Act 2021. In particular, I want to read clause 2, part B, that includes a coalition political party. Then the definition of a coalition political party means a coalition that is registered by the registrar as a political party. Direct party nomination means the process by which a political party, through its registered members, elects its candidates for an election. Indirect party nomination means the process by which a political party, through the use of delegates selected by registered members of the political party, and interviews, selects its candidates for an election. Yeah, so that is just a section of the of 2021. Now, I have read this document, but I'm not a legal expert. So let's listen to what the specialist, the senior counsels, had to say on this matter.
Signed as political.
This is the situation with One Kenya Alliance, the coalition, and seems to have joined the Azimio. And according to Kalonzo, it's called Azimio-Oka. Signifies Oka Alliance has joined Azimio Alliance. Is that possible?
I had responded to this before, that under Section 7(9) of the Political Parties Act as amended in 2021, a political party cannot be a member of more than one coalition. So you cannot join two coalitions. In short, if you are a member of Oka, you cannot jump to Azimio la Umoja. And therefore, political parties that signed the coalition agreement signed as political.
This situation with One Kenya Alliance, the coalition, and seems to have joined the Azimio.
There you go. So that is the senior counsel, Professor Tom Ochenda. He clearly reflects that Oka as a coalition party cannot join Azimio as a coalition party to form Azimio Oka coalition party. But discussions are still going on, and even the political party that will emerge, the coalition political party that is going to emerge after the talks have been concluded, is still in the works. So Kenyans will have to wait a little bit longer to understand what is going on the side. I also want us to hear what Grand Mula is saying.
According to Kalonzo, it's called Azimio-Oka. Signifies Oka Alliance has joined Azimio. Is that possible?
I had responded to this before, that under Section 7(9).
Been panel beaten somewhere.
I don't believe that he had not read the coalition agreement.
It's not the first time you're seeing the document.
The side room for 8 hours. We waited. We were sitting in the room for over 8 hours. So there's a contradiction there. I don't think that it would be proper for him to say it. It is possible for him to say he didn't understand the contradiction, but I'm sure
he had seen the document.
He said that the senior counsel, he must have known.
And what is
it's been panel beaten somewhere.
I don't believe.
Secretary General wa upya chama cha pia.
So Kalonzo Musyoka should up his game with the senior counsel and stop sending mixed signals on political
pia
dealings
Muungano Party nachoongozwa na
that
Profesa
is
Kivuta Kibwana.
negotiating on behalf of
DAP,
his
chama
constituent.
kinachoongozwa na Wamunyinyi kutoka kule mkoa wa Magharibi.
Then,
Chama cha UDP,
to emancipate himself
chama
from
pia
the
cha
utterances
UDM. Nikikutaja hapa
that he has
haraka sana kwa
made
sababu hatuna muda.
previously
Kindly Secretary General mnaelekea
in
pale.
other political
Chama cha
gathering,
UDM,
and I want
cha
to underline political
PA.
emancipation.
Mheshimiwa Amason
Kalonzo has to
Jefferson King
identify
kutoka kule
with something that is national,
Ubuntu.
a vehicle that is the one that is leading.
Ubuntu iko hapa. Sawa, Ubuntu basi
In that
Secretary General
vehicle
elekea
is
kule.
One Kenya Alliance. That is what
Chama cha
Kalonzo
National
Musyoka has.
Reconstruction Alliance.
This is what Kalonzo Musyoka
Waelekea
is
kule,
selling
The
to the people
People's Trust Party.
Ukambani. Eastern
To
Province.
facilitate the signing,
Because as a leader, as a political
the
kingpin,
legal team asks
you must
that we go
solidify
perhaps 2 at a time
you are stronger
to the signing desk. So just
Asante,
also
wapange
before
tu
you move
foleni.
to the table.
Wapange laini kwa sababu
Where
najua tunaelekea kule kwingine.
the
tunaona
name
tayari
discussed.
Secretary General wa Jubilee Mheshimiwa Jeremiah
And
Kioni
Kalonzo,
ashamaliza signing, makofi
having
kwake.
said a lot of things
Tunaona
in the
pia
past
Secretary General wa chama cha ODM Bwana Edwin Sifuna tayari
that now
alishasign.
Asante.
seemingly
Asante.
Waipa wamesign na
resurrecting
wanajua
from
wanasign
the grave
kabisa
and coming back
wakiongozwa
to
na party
continue.
leader
He
Stephen
has to
Kalonzo
identify with
Musyoka.
something. And this is the Oka.
His Excellency
whatever formation.
Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
He is.
SG wa Waipa
Listen,
Shakila kwa
I
haraka
want you to
sana.
listen to what Kalonzo Musyoka said
Honorable
previously
SG. That needs to change.
about
Ladies and gentlemen, I can see kwa
Himself.
furaha iliyo nyuso zenyu.
I can tell you the guys I negotiate with very seriously are those ones. Yeah. If they convince me, fine. If I convince them, fine. Because these are brothers. We know each other. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I said our brother Raila is willing to join us. I mean, he's free to join us. That I can tell you for a fact. And in fact, I would love that to be the situation, that he joins us. Okay? However, I cannot see, and I made it clear, I would be the most stupid fellow on the earth to go and support the third time
Senior
presidential
Counsel
candidate
Kalonzo Musyoka.
without a measure of reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
I think it is even, it goes beyond the doctrine of good faith,
Good faith.
justice, fairness. Yeah. And I can tell you, this man you're talking to is very strong.
Very strong.
There are people who think, oh, he's a weakling.
Kalonzo is a
Yeah.
good negotiator, even
This
though
guy is very strong.
he falters, but he's a
So
strong negotiator.
that they are afraid because they know. Okay. I can tell you the guys I negotiate with.
So that is. So Kalonzo had to pacify that statement by making sure he's got something that he can identify with. And remember also, Kalonzo Musyoka had signed a secret political pact with the ODM leader Raila Odinga, that he also had a press conference. He called a press conference in his current office to state the reason why he insisted that he would be the most stupid person to support Raila Odinga, because he knew they had an agreement that during the 2022 presidential elections, Raila would shelve his ambition, regardless of what had happened in 2017, to allow for Kalonzo Musyoka to run for the presidency. This is the main reason why he could not join the ODM National Delegates Convention, even though he was invited, together with his bigger brother, President Uhuru Kenyatta. But he did send his deputy party leader. Is called Zipapa.
Haya. ODM. ODM. Ya tatu ODM. Nimesimama hapa kwa niaba ya chama cha Wiper, Mheshimiwa Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, kwa sababu ambazo hawa viongozi wetu wa vyama wanazijua, hawakuweza kufika, lakini tuko pamoja katika NDC ya Jubilee. Mheshimiwa Rais, sababu yake unayejua, Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga, sababu unazijua. Si sababu mbaya, ni kwa wema na wanajua sababu zake. Hakuna ubaya wowote. Sasa sisi na nyinyi tuko pamoja kwa sababu msimamo wetu ni mmoja. Msimamo wetu ni ule ambao kila mmoja amesema, Kenya izidi kuendelea. Kenya izidi kupata manufaa ya uongozi bora. Kenya watu wote wanasikizana. Kenya kusiwe na chuki ambayo haina maana. Kenya izuie wale ambao wana matusi. Kenya izuie wale ambao ni wezi. Kenya izuie wale ambao hawana heshima kwa yeyote, ambao katika dunia nzima wamevunja rekodi. Wewe mtu usahili kumpa heshima rais ni mmoja tu anayemtukana, na mtu huyo sisi tumemkataa. Tumemkataa kwa sababu yaweza kuleta farakano katika nchi. Inaweza kuleta watu wakapigana, inaweza watu wakauana, inaweza kuleta umasikini wa hali ya juu sana, ambao wanaumia zaidi ni wakina mama na watoto na wale wanyonge wengine. Sisi tunasema tumekuja, tunashirikiana na ODM na tuko tayari kabisa kwa azimio la umoja, azimio la One Kenya Alliance, azimio la One Kenya, azimio, lakini neno ni azimio la Kenya moja, azimio. Sisi tuko tayari, tutasonga mbele na nyinyi kabisa. Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka amesema niwaambie yeye na wenzake my seniors, na
So another thing that Kalonzo Musyoka is making sure that Oka appears in Azimio coalition is what it is that Kalonzo Musyoka and by extension the people you represent, what are they going to get? What is the stake in an Azimio government should Prime Minister Raila Odinga wins the presidency? It's as simple as that. And this is why Kalonzo Musyoka, by sweat, by blood, has insisted, even to some extent, he did appear as somebody who doesn't know what he's saying, but he knew this is what he wants, this is what he can say. People can run. And finally, I think he's going to get it, going by his words and going by the meetings.
Ndivyo sivyo?
Akija
huko hapo sikia simu. Ngifika nyumbani
yesterday,
basi yule mmoja ni Wiper, mmoja ni ODM, sarakasi hiyo, lakini Mungu ametuleta pamoja na ushindi ni wetu Kenya, ushindi ni wetu, ni wetu.
Had dinner
Asante.
at Kalonzo Musyoka's residence in Karen, and there were a lot of discussions that went on, going by what I saw on the Twitter handles of most of these politicians, And we can let's quickly look at what these politicians had to say on their Twitter handles. Gideon Moi. So this is Gideon Moi. We are forging a broad-based coalition that will leave no one behind in its quest to build a united and prosperous nation. With President Kenyatta at His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka's home, and you can see President Kenyatta there. You can see Kalonzo Musyoka, you can see Gideon Moi as they walk Kalonzo's residence. Kalonzo Musyoka, it was my absolute pleasure and joy to host the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and my fellow Oka Principal Baringo Senator Gideon Moi at my residence yesterday evening. We are Azimio-One Kenya. It's not stating coalition, it's not stating alliance, it's not stating party. This is because the discussions are still going on. Everything has to be structured. Everybody has to be on the same bus as they move forward. Remember, we are on the final rounds of these presidential campaigns. So any mistake that a coalition makes can be very costly in terms of votes and in terms of winning seats for the various positions that are going to be contested. There you go again. Azimio-One Kenya will not fail because of me. The train has left station. You can see the man from Seikuru is very happy. He's even giving you a thumbs up, stating that things are going on very well. Kalonzo is smiling. It's not easy to build coalitions, particularly when there is an issue of trust. The Azimio Oka will not fail, and certainly not because of me. The name is a deal breaker and an act. The name is a deal breaker and an act of bad faith. Now let me read that one again. It's not easy to build coalitions, particularly when there is an issue of trust. The Azimio Oka will not fail, and certainly not because of me. The name is a deal breaker and not an act of bad faith. I think he left something there. And not an act of bad faith. The deal was the Azimio-One Kenya. Here he says the deal was Azimio-One Kenya. Here he says the deal is the Azimio Oka. So you can see from those two statements, this one was said 20 hours ago, and the other one also 20 hours ago, but this one was the latest. Even himself, he was confused on the actual name that is in the documents. But we'll see. We'll see as the talks continues to play along. And finally, this is on 15th March. Under the Political Parties Act, a political party cannot be a member of more than one coalition. If you are a member of Oka, you cannot join Azimio la Umoja. That was Prof. Okay. So the other thing that Kalonzo Musyoka is possibly eyeing apart from a stake in government, and something that maybe is going to galvanize Kalonzo Musyoka's base, having faltered because of this back and forth and double speak. I think if Kalonzo Musyoka can be Raila Odinga's running mate, it's going to be a deal breaker. And also scientifically, even though they say the opinion polls are biased, I think one of the opinion polls that was recent.
So if elections were held today, who would Kenyans vote for? 47.4% of Kenyans would vote for Raila Odinga and 43.4% will vote for William Ruto. This means no candidate has 50% and a runoff is inevitable. On the trend, however, Raila Odinga has been climbing every month and appears to have finally caught up with William Ruto, according to the latest polls. And let's therefore reach out to Radio Africa's political reporter James Barker to tell us what has driven this change. Welcome, James. So what is really happening in this race?
Over the last 1 month, we can see that Raila's national popularity has continued to surge, and he now stands at 47.4% against Ruto's 43.4%, being the first time that he's overtaking the deputy president in national popularity rating.
Therefore, do you think the recent Sagana meeting, plus the NDC for the Azimio, and Kalonzo recently joining that team, had any impact on the numbers that we're currently seeing?
The Sagana 3 meeting by President Uhuru Kenyatta appears to have given Raila a surge in regions outside Central Kenya region. And if you look at select counties, for instance, if we go to the map, you look at Migori County, Raila stands at 65.6%. And if you look at Homa Bay County, he leads at 81.3%.
Thank you, James, for those insights. Now, for more
released by TIFA, who is headed by Tom Wolf, said that the best running mates candidates for Raila are Kalonzo Musyoka is one of them, and amongst the central people, you've got Lee Kinyanjui. Lee Kinyanjui actually appears as the most suitable. And then we have the former Gatanga MP, Peter Kenneth, and Peter Munya, the Agriculture Cabinet Secretary. But listening to what Murathe said, Murathe in one of the radio station, TV station, stated that for Azimio, the central province, they are not looking for the running mate. What they are looking for is their stake in government, and especially what the government is going to do for the people. You remember the clarion call that was being championed by most of the people in that region, which is 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. That one still stands. And with Uhuru Kenyatta remaining as the patron of Azimio la Umoja, is going to be very critical in terms of the apex body for decision making. He remains very influential in moving the chips. He knows how the chips are falling, and is a key figure even as he finishes his term. And this is the reason why even in his tour, and I think according to me, and you can take this to the bank, I think Raila has already settled on Peter Kenneth as his running mate. And this is why he's almost everywhere where Raila Odinga is going. Peter Kenneth is keen on going forward with the agriculture portfolio if the Azimio government emerges as victorious. Lee Kinyanjui is going to defend his gubernatorial position in Nakuru County, which I think he's going to easily win if he puts his best foot forth and campaign with veracity that is required. And then the last thing why Kalonzo Musyoka has to make sure that Oka's identity is not in Swahili we say is not measured ama ijamezwa, is because Kalonzo Musyoka has his eyes on the 2027 political campaigns. And is planning to use Azimio-One Alliance or coalition, whatever is going to be, as a springing board. Remember, immediately after endorsing Raila Odinga, he went to his constituency and explained to the people why he has decided to support Raila Odinga. He also stated that he will lead troops in parliament, in the county assembly, to make sure that whatever the region champions is prioritized by the government. So, and by that, he wants to galvanize his stronghold through his party, which is Wiper, and is possibly going to use Wiper under Azimio-One Alliance as his political machine for the 2027 presidential contest. And this is on the mutual understanding that Raila Odinga is going to be a gentleman, be a Mandela, goes for one term, and then leave for the next person. It's very difficult. The constitution gives somebody an opportunity to go for 2 terms, and you know, with the trust deficit that these politicians have been talking about, and the other reason given that power corrupts and power gets sweeter when you are at the center of it, it's going to be very difficult to determine at this stage if the premier is going to serve for only 1 term and then leaves for the other people. But that is something that we shall wait and see. So these are the 5 reasons why I think Kalonzo had to emphasize that the slogan or the name of the coalition that he has signed, that he did sign during the unveiling of the Azimio-One candidate, is Azimio-One. So we shall keep on monitoring what is happening, and we shall analyze that for you. Thank you very much. This is my perspective. You can share your comments based on this analysis. You can also suggest what we should analyze next. And if you're a new viewer, please remember to click the link that is down below so that you can be a member of this channel. We not only share political analysis, but we've got educational videos that teaches you how to do things in the community, videos that are educative, and also videos that are hilarious, that gives laughter. So kindly click on that subscribe button, like, share your comments, and we'll be very grateful. So thank you very much. God bless you.